There was something magical about perfume in the 1970s. It wasn't made for trends, it was made for moves. Each bottle held a story, whispered in moss and musk, wrapped in glass and mystery. Perfume was emotion, unapologetic, daring, romantic, and a little wild. These are the fragrances that defined the decade, and then quietly slipped away, leaving only their scent in memory. Today, we're taking a deep breath of nostalgia as we count down 10 rare 1970s scents that only true vintage lovers remember. Stay until number 1, because that final perfume is pure 1970s perfection. Tempo by Avon. We begin our journey with a heartbeat, soft, steady, unforgettable. Avon's Tempo was the quiet pulse of the early 70s. A green floral wrapped in powder and wood, it had a subtle sophistication, the kind that spoke in low tones and steady glances. It smelled like pressed linen, morning light, and the confidence of someone who never needed to hurry. There was violet and oak moss beneath its calm surface, a whisper of elegance that lingered like a gentle echo. Tempo wasn't flashy, it was poise in perfume form, a graceful reminder that sometimes the softest rhythm lasts the longest. Tramp by Lentheric. At number 9, a fragrance that walked on the wild side. Tramp by Lentheric was bold, untamed, and unapologetically free. Imagine suede patchouli, all pulsing beneath a sultry amber warmth. It was the scent of rebellion, of high boots on cobblestone streets and laughter after midnight. Tramp didn't care about polite society. It was made for those who lived by their own rhythm. Few scents captured the daring independence of the 70s quite like this one. Tramp was for women who didn't follow rules, they rewrote them. Eau Folle by Guy Laroche. Number 8. When modern freshness met Parisian flair. Eau Folle, or Crazy Water, was Guy Laroche's joyful rebellion against heavy perfume trends. Bursting with lemon, basil, and vetiver, it shimmered with citrus brightness and green sparkle. Imagine a summer day on the Côte d'Azur, wind in your hair, linen against your skin, and laughter spilling like champagne. Eau Folle felt like movement itself, refreshing yet a little mischievous. In a decade of decadence, this scent reminded everyone that sometimes happiness could simply be clean, bright, and effervescent. Quadrille by Balenciaga. Sliding into number 7, an old-world waltz with a modern soul. Quadrille by Balenciaga was elegance choreographed. A floral chypre with notes of plum, rose, and oak moss, it danced between sweetness and sophistication. It felt like velvet gloves and whispered secrets, the quiet glamour of candlelit evenings and grand hotels. Quadrille had the grace of the 1950s, reborn in the freedom of the 1970s, a bridge between eras. Balenciaga captured timeless femininity in motion, and Quadrille remains one of perfume's most graceful steps. Yendi by Capucci. At number 6, a scent that shimmered like silk in the Roman sun. Yendi by Capucci was Italian opulence with a touch of mystery. A lush blend of peach, rose, amber, and civet. Warm, sensual, and irresistibly Mediterranean. It smelled like confidence, like the golden light of summer on a marble terrace. Yendi had personality. It didn't whisper, it sang. Rich yet refined, romantic yet daring, it was Italy in a bottle, dressed in elegance and allure. A forgotten gem that still glows in the memories of true vintage connoisseurs. Inoui by Shiseido. Halfway through, We crossed the seas to find rare serenity. Inoui by Shiseido was unlike anything the West had seen in 1976. Green, spicy, ethereal, it was Japanese minimalism expressed through scent. Galbanum and hyacinth opened like a breeze through bamboo, followed by sandalwood and vetiver grounding it in quiet beauty. It wasn't loud, it was profound. Inoui felt like a Zen garden at dawn, still, balanced, eternal. For collectors, it remains a masterpiece, a scent that transcended fashion and touched philosophy. Silences by Jacomo. At number 4, stillness becomes art. Silences by Jacomo was cool, intellectual, and breathtakingly composed. A green floral with galbanum, iris, and oak moss, it was like cutting through a stem of freshly picked leaves, crisp, deliberate, and pure. It wasn't designed to charm, it was designed to command. Silences was the fragrance of solitude, of inner strength, of understated beauty that refused to perform. It smelled like intelligence and grace, a perfume for minds as much as hearts. Mystère by Rochas. Taking the number 3 spot, a shadowed masterpiece. Mystère by Rochas lived up to its name, dark, rich, endlessly complex. It blended patchouli, incense, and moss into something smoky and sensual. There was a quiet grandeur in its depth, a sense of history and devotion wrapped in amber light. It was the scent of introspection, of letters written by candlelight and secrets never told. Mystère didn't follow the crowd. It stood apart, luminous in its darkness. Scherrer by Jean-Louis Scherrer. At number 2, pure couture in a bottle. Scherrer was Parisian elegance with dramatic flair. A green chypre of galbanum, narcissus, and vetiver, it walked the fine line between grace and power. It smelled like silk gowns brushing marble floors, confident, composed, unforgettable. This was fashion distilled into scent, structured, daring, yet timeless. Scherrer didn't need sparkle or sugar. It was form, sophistication, and quiet strength, the essence of haute couture itself. Rive Gauche by Yves Saint Laurent. And finally, number 1, the scent of revolution and refinement. Rive Gauche by Yves Saint Laurent was the beating heart of 1970s modernity. Cool aldehydes, metallic florals, and oak moss blended into a bold, unmistakable statement. It was the fragrance of freedom, the working woman, the intellectual, the dreamer in Paris cafes. It smelled of chrome and rose, of steel and softness, the duality of the decade itself. Rive Gauche didn't just capture the 70s, it defined it. Feminine, fearless, unforgettable. A masterpiece that will forever live in the memory of true vintage lovers. And there you have it, 10 rare 1970s scents that only true vintage lovers remember. From the poetic calm of Silences to the wild freedom of Tramp and the polished allure of Rive Gauche, these perfumes weren't just fragrances. They were characters, each with its own soul, its own era, its own story to tell. Tell me, which of these legends do you remember? Which one still lingers in your memory, like a song from another lifetime? If you love rediscovering the lost perfumes of the past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join me again for another journey through time. Because scents may fade, but memory never truly disappears.